Hey everybody, thanks for hanging out with me again today on the My Bourbon Journey Whiskey Review channel. So today we're going to be bringing you something that I think is a really interesting, fun product from Maker's Mark Distillery. So what is this one exactly? This is going to be the Maker's Mark 46 Cask Strength Bourbon Whiskey. So this comes in at 110.3 proof or 55.15% ABV. Mash bill on this, so pretty typical of Maker's. 80% corn, 16% red winter wheat, and 14% malted barley. So something very different, unique, especially with the red winter wheat being part of the mash bill. It is non-age stated, and the MSRP on this one is right around $55. So in terms of a cask strength wheated bourbon, at around $55 or so, give or take, maybe $5 or $10, depending on where it is that you're at. It's a pretty good price point for exactly what it is. So let's go ahead and kind of get into the review, and yeah, we'll see how this bad boy is. So color wise, as you can see, kind of like a light copper. I don't think much of the age on Makers, is usually in that maybe 5-6 year range is a pretty typical age on their bourbon. So all right, let's go ahead and get into the nose. So right away, a nice kind of hit of this nice candy corn aspect. So that like sweet, like those sweet candy corns where you get that sweetness. Really nice marshmallow aspect to that. Some vanilla buttercream. Nice sweet oak on this one. There is that oak presence, a little bit of ethanol, not too bad at all. Nice spice, actually. For a wheated bourbon, there's a nice amount of spice that's coming off on that. Maybe the spice is more of like a wood tannin, something along those lines, but there's a spicy aspect to it. Also get like a bit of a butter pecan or pecan note, kind of like the butter pecan, like kind of vanilla ice cream, something along those lines where you got that nice combination. And then that sweet wheat kind of starts to come through a little bit, that maybe slight doughy aspect or just kind of the weedy aspect that's there. Yeah, it's probably more of a pastry dough or like a fried dough, something along those lines. Really nice caramel that's there as well. Maybe even a slight cherry note on that as well. And I think as this opens, so I had this open probably about 5-10 minutes prior to doing the review. The bottle now has been open, got it down past the neck. Probably been open for about maybe 3 weeks or so at this point. So should have been given enough time for a little air time to let this thing kind of open up. So, all right, let's go ahead and get into the taste on this one. Cheers. Boy, so right away, this really nice, sweet, rich oak aspect to it. Really nice spice that's there. So it could be a combination of just the wood that's there, the mash bill that's creating this nice spice factor to it. Definitely some cherry, more cherry on the palate than there was on the nose. Still, again, nice caramels, vanillas. You get, again, a little bit of that butter pecan aspect that's there, kind of combined with that, the doughy or the doughiness or that kind of like maybe like a fried bread dough, something along those lines. Really nice mouthfeel to it. Not thin, not overly viscous or, totally mouth coating, but there's still a little bit of a velvety texture that's there to it. The spice continues to really linger. That cherry note is there, that nice sweet oak, the vanillas, the caramels. And again, the one thing that's kind of remained, throughout has been that kind of butter pecan, vanilla ice cream, doughy aspect that's there. It's a really nice profile for a wheated bourbon. In terms of wheated bourbons at cask strength, you know, this really kind of stands out. I mean, I think this is one of the better ones of their lineup that they do. I know they've got some of their other, you know, like wood stave releases that they do, kind of their limited edition stuff. But I'll tell you, in terms of something that is maybe a little more readily available or about to become a little more readily available, this Cask Strength, you know, Maker's 46 is a really, really nice bourbon. I would say it's definitely worth, you know, having a bottle and more than likely having a backup bottle to that. Just because right now it is a little bit limited. It's not in every area. And more than likely when it does become available, you know, they'll go pretty quickly. So I would say in terms of a buy recommendation, definitely have a bottle if you can find or get a secondary bottle as a backup. Definitely do it. I think it's well worth having a backup bottle of. Yeah, still some of that candy corn. Again, a high corn mash bill, you know, then that nice red winter wheat, nice high malted barley. So a really nice mash bill. And you know what they do with the 46 and the staves and all that really gives it a whole different aspect than just the standard Maker's release. You know, maybe about a year or so ago, they did release the Maker's 101, which I felt was a really nice bourbon at the time and somewhat comparable. Little bit of the kind of same characteristics, kind of. But, you know, again, if you can get this at Cask Strength, you know, a little over 110 proof, definitely worth having on your bar. So, yeah, even a little bit of a honey note aspect there. But again, yeah, that nice sweet oak. Definitely some of those cherry notes. That butter pecan and ice cream caramel. Really nice palate. I mean, I don't know how else to really kind of describe it, but it's a really, really nice, well-balanced, well-put-together bourbon. Now, I'd say finish-wise probably on the medium, maybe slightly medium plus side. But again, those lingering sweet oaks, the cherry, the butter pecan, the caramel, all of those things. A little bit of that doughy aspect that's there. Really nice. And the nice part about this is that you can't be tricked into thinking that because it's a wheated bourbon, it's not going to have really much or any spice to it. This does throughout. It's maintained a really nice overall oak and spice factor. So there you have it. I think it's a really, like I said before, a really nice, well-balanced Cask Strength wheated bourbon. So again, Maker's Mark 46 Cask Strength coming in at 110.3 proof. On this one, really nice. I would definitely consider a bottle and definitely get a backup bottle if you're able to. So with that being said, I want to say thank you so much for tuning in to another one of my reviews. Greatly appreciate you tuning in and the support. If you'd like to follow me, you can on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all of those places at My Bourbon Journey. If you'd like to help support the channel or be part of the Mash and Journey Whiskey Club, take a look at the link in the description below, which is my Patreon page. It'll give you a little more detail as to all of that. But again, more importantly, thank you so much for tuning into another one of my reviews. And as always, remember, it's about the journey and not the destination. Cheers.